Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Veracity Markets Podcast. So, I just want to go through disclaimers. Veracity Markets is incorporated in South Africa. Registration number 2018 5151 74/07. It's a juristic representative of Nevesh Financial Services, Pty, registration number 2014 21441707, which is an authorized financial services provider under Financial Advisory and Intermediary Services Act number 37 of 2002, FSP number 4701. Online trading consists of complex products and are traded on margin. Trading carries a high degree of risk. It is possible to lose all your capital. These products may not be suitable for everyone, and you should ensure that you understand the risks involved. The contents of this video and audio are for educational purposes only. Right, with that out of the way, I am super excited today. Super excited. I don't know if you can see my hands shaking, but I am super excited to have our next guest on. So, our guest, he basically started trading when he was 19. He's an entrepreneur. He's the founder of Forex Chasers. He's a millionaire trader. He's one of the youngest traders in South Africa. And he started trading when he was 19, and he has just gone from strength to strength in trading. So I would like to introduce you the one, the only, the phenomenal, the entrepreneur, the millionaire, the bling trader, the Forex chaser, Lesiba Mothupi.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. Like, as soon as, I got the request to be here, I was like, I need to be here for real, because, I believe my voice can, change someone out there, so, I appreciate being here.
You have an interesting, so I was reading your story, you actually have an interesting story about how you actually got into trading.
So
tell us about that. Tell us about who's Lesiba. How did you get to where you are today?
How did I get to who's Lesiba? Okay, so I'm gonna just start off from where I was a few years ago, how I grew up, and how I actually got into Forex trading. So I actually started residing in a place named Lephalale, from a very young age, around 2-3, somewhere around those ages. And then, maybe around, when I was still in primary school, that's when, I started noticing some things happening around. I would see how my dad and mom used to do things. And, I'd always wanted, I always had, thoughts of being in a different, let's say, industry, but I didn't know how, because I've never seen entrepreneurials or entrepreneurship, close to me, because, both my mom and dad were, working 9 to 5 and stuff. So, but in high school, I actually got introduced to a few friends of mine. And one thing that I liked about that is that they were doing they actually liked selling stuff. So they got me into selling, and I was actually selling packets of sweets and chips. That's what I started selling. And at first it was for fun, it was just to make a bit of capital. But it came to a point where it had to be a serious thing, because when I was in grade 8, I think I was 14 years old, somewhere around those ages. I've had experience my mom, me, my mom, and my 2 siblings who actually lived in a garage. And during those times, during those times, for me, it wasn't, we are in a garage, worst case scenario, all those things. But I actually saw the positive side of it. I was like, okay, I understand that this is the current situation, and I don't like whatever that's going on right now at this moment, but I think I'm the one that can change the moment back home. So from that day, I had mindsets of, what is it that I can do to make money, and in the most right way, you understand? So that's when I got into selling, packets of seeds, all those things. I sold skateboard parts and all. I got into doing just a lot of businesses, and obviously they were not successful up until when I was maybe 18 years old, 17, 18. I saw someone trading on the Forex market. Now it was my friend's mother. She was trading, but she didn't find success from it. And the way that she explained it to me was you just make money off the cell phone, and all you have to do is buy. If the market goes above, then you're gonna make more profits. Or you sell and the market goes down, then you make more profits. And because she was looking at the graphs, I started asking questions why is it that you're studying graphs? What actually are you looking for? Then at first she didn't understand. She just to her it was just graphs. If it's going up, you're making profits. If it's going that's the mindset that she had at then. But because of the fact that she couldn't explain it to me, I went out there to go get information on what is this thing, how does it work? How do people do people even make money from this thing? And I started searching job incomes, not even job incomes, how much can you make from it? When you search for something that actually has to make you money, you search how much you can make from it. I went and searched all those things, and I also searched age. Like, for me to get to my specific goals, how long is it going to take? Then I saw that, okay, maybe this is a nice vehicle for me to, get into and like, try to achieve my dreams.
Yeah.
So that's when I got into it. Like it took like maybe a year for research, all those things. But like, during that year, I wasn't trading. I was just like trying to understand the whole concept. And I thought at first, like, investing is like, you need a lot of money because like, for us, like, I'm at the time, like when I got into it, I was still in Pretoria West in a township named Lotus Gardens. So like, investments, like to me is like, you need to have money to put into this and all those things. So it was like complicated. But like, unfortunately, as soon as like, I started learning more about it, I knew that, okay, no, anyone can get into the Forex market. Anyone can start trading. You don't need a lot of money and all those things. So that's when I got into it. Like, I used my allowance. I was getting allowance from at home. So I used like 300 rands. That was like the very first initial deposit that I made in the markets. Yeah.
And how long did that 300 rand last?
I didn't last too long. I think it lasted like a day.
Really?
Because today, like actually, I made it was like $22, and then it got the next day I made like $10. So I was excited, like I made profits, like way forward and everything. But like that same day, like in the evening, like I lost everything, and I was actually on IQ options, different. So I didn't know the differences up until someone told me there's what we call MetaTrader 4. And like with that, like it's a bit different. When you buy, the more price goes up, like, that's when you make more money. And with IQ, it's slightly different because like it's just, how it is. So I got into the MT4 and then I started studying on how it actually works, some of the way forwards and stuff. And I got to it and
Okay. So you started, I think, where everyone starts, where you start and you're like, okay, I don't have a lot of money. I'm going to start with this small amount. And within I think you're lucky it was a few days, yours was gone. But a lot of guys start with a little bit of money, and within the first few days, some people the first few hours, that money is gone.
That's true. Right. That's true.
Right. How important do you think that is for traders to actually start at the bottom, sometimes even lose money, and start building from there, building their knowledge, especially?
That's true. Right. That's true. I think it's very important because like looking at it, like obviously like maybe the first deposits that you're going to make, you're not going to make money, or you're not going to make that money that you're thinking of, like, 10 times in the money that you invested and stuff. So I think it's when you're starting out, it's very important to start up with capital that like you don't mind losing. You understand? Like you're not going to rely off of this for maybe paying bills or doing something. That like you're just testing with that. If it does give you profits, then good for you. But if it doesn't give you profits, then at least you learn from it. And like, it's even much more better because you're putting emotions to it. Like if you take like, let's say out of your salary or something, but you take like a small capital, then you invest with it, like you are even going to learn from the losses that you make because now it's the money that like, it's your money, like you respect that money. So wherever it goes, like you're going to watch, like if you take a loss, you're going to observe that loss. Unlike maybe trading a virtual account, which is not like you don't put emotions towards that, Jonathan. So for like, starting out, like just put money that I don't mind losing this money and then let me put this, it's going to get lost anyway. But have that mindset of I'm going to learn with this. It's just for me to test if this thing really does work. Can I like be profitable off of this thing? Like just to test basically.
Okay. You mentioned something which I wanted to touch on, which is emotions in trading. Right. So a lot of people trade with emotions. As soon as they see a little bit of profits, or they trade, like, right, I'm going to take my money and go.
Out,
right? But they, at the same time, they're willing to hold their losses
longer
for a longer time, right? And in actual fact, it should be the opposite way around.
The opposite.
You should be willing to cut your losses quickly and hold on to your profits
much more longer.
What have you found in regards to how do you overcome that challenge of trading with emotions?
Okay, so one thing that I like about that, I actually like the fact that you asked this because like, a lot of people are facing this. And like I noticed that I can also go through like a similar thing, especially when like, because at times I'd be like maybe on the move and then I want to buy or sell or something. And then like I'll take that position, then I'll be like, I'll put my stops like maybe when I get a perfect spot to stop at. And then next thing, like it's away from my entry price. And then I'm going to be like, let me wait for it to get back to my entry price so I can at least close. And like, and then it goes like more against you and stuff. But I think the most important thing that you can prevent this from happening is like, obviously the first thing you need to have a stop loss where you're comfortable at. Like that area should be either technically or maybe other people measure their stops according to money wise, like this is how much I don't want to lose this much. Or maybe even like, according to pips and stuff, because we have different things. I normally put my stops according to my technical like views, like, higher highs, higher lows, below it and all those things. So yeah, the first thing is that you need to have a stop loss. Then once you've got a stop loss, that's the amount. You can never lose more than that amount.
Correct.
But now your profit size should be exponential, meaning that you should be okay with taking as many losses as possible on that money that you're comfortable with losing. But when it comes to the profit side, as soon as like you're into profits, then try to log maybe a few profits and then let the rest run, like, you know, so you can maybe try to capitalize like more in the profit side of things instead of holding your negatives and closing your profits quick. And at the same time, you shouldn't attach like emotions to money in a way of like you seeing yourself making like, you know, let's say 5,000 and you're making 5,000 in just 30 minutes. Automatically you start thinking, I can pay rent with this. I can, you know, I can buy new shoes with this. I can take my girlfriend out. You shouldn't start seeing the markets, and you should you should put money, emotions and everything away from that, and then see it as like, you know, technicals. Like the more it goes in your direction, then it means that you are moving correct. Like, you know, just keep on trail stopping and all those things. Then just measure your performance, like, you know, overall and stuff. So don't put emotions and like, you know, money and the things that you can do and all those things like with what's happening.
I like what you said in regards to, you know, if you say I'm in a position and I'm up whatever amount, right? You shouldn't start saying to yourself that, okay, well, I've made 10 grand. Now I can go get the new pair of shoes. Or I can do this, whatever the case is. Right? And it talks to the fact that trading is a business. Right?
It is.
If you decide to become a trader in the financial markets, it's the same as you opening a business. A business has running costs.
That's true. That
expenses,
is true.
Right? So I always give the example of if you own a shop. And in the morning, someone comes and they buy, I don't know, carton of eggs, some products and whatever the case is, and they're like, okay, well, we've spent 1,000 rand in the shop. Then you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, I've had one client today and they spent 1,000 rand. I'm gonna close the shop now, and you know, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day. I'm gonna go play golf, right? So you do the same thing day in, day out. And I've always said that profitable trading is actually quite boring.
It is. Right. That's true.
I think we look for excitement in trading and we always looking for the action. But the truth is, if you're doing the same thing day out, day in, you're looking for the same setup, you use the same stop loss, you use the same technicals. It's actually quite repetitive and it's actually quite boring.
It is.
Right. But my question is that a lot of people don't talk, and I like that you touched that, a lot of people don't talk about risk management. When it comes to trading, right? They focus a lot on, you need this strategy.
That's true. That is true.
But why is that a lot of people don't actually incorporate risk management?
And I don't know why, like, you know, most people don't, like, you know, maybe speak about it or like, you know, touch too much about it. But I think, like, you know, what, you know, strategies, everything that you can get, like, you know, all those amazing things can allow you to make money now. But risk management, what it does is that it allows you to stay longer in, like, you know, the industry or the game. So I see a lot of people, like, you know, with, like, you know, small account, let's say they put in 1,000 rands, then they have that aim of, I'm gonna take it to like 15,000 and stuff. But like, they don't know that, like, you know, yes, you can do that, but maybe you're risking your whole account for that move. You understand? That 1,000, like, you're risking your whole account, but like longer term, like, are you able to make like money long term with that same strategy or that same move that you have made? That's why, like, you know, most people, like, even on a big account, you know, you'll still see me, like, you know, taking my risk more. Like, let's on a 100K account, I can still make it like profits of like 6, 10K, and I'll be excited with that. And my negatives would be like 2,000 or 3,000. That's like, I keep it that way because that's the amount that I'm comfortable with. And I'm not trading to, you know, make a lot of money just now, but I'm trading to have, like, you know, something that a skill that I know I can rely off no matter what, like no matter anything, any business model or anything that I have going on. If it does fail, I know that this skill that I've been able to develop for years, I'm still able to rely off of it. Because, like, you know, at the end, as much as, like, you know, you keep on progressing in life, it comes to a point where, like, you know, you start to be responsible of a lot of things or a lot of people too, you understand? So you can't mess that up, like, down the line. So you need to have something solid.
I like the fact that, so you're looking for consistent gains.
And like, you know, long term, like, you know, one thing that I like at first, you know, when I started, I was 19. Obviously, I didn't have long-term goals or long-term views and stuff. But, you know, I'm 19 years old. Was like, you know, I actually got a daughter. And I think she was born like when I was 19 or 20, I forgot. But somewhere around there, close. But she's 3 years now. So, And then, so what happens is that, like, you know, as soon as I got her, like, she started giving me the whole perspective of me seeing the long-term picture, you know, because at first she has to go to crèche, primary school, high school, varsity, and all those things, you know. So for, like, I need to be in her life. So like 20 years later, I still need to be there. So if I'm the trader that just makes profits today, the next day I'm out, where am I gonna be 20 years from now? You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
So I want to
100%.
build that whole thing whereby I know she knows that there is gonna pay my school fees. I'm safe, or this is how things are gonna happen, and I'm safe. I'm also safe with like my cash flow or how I'm making my money. I don't get affected by whatever that happens around the world. I just want to have a skill that allows me to, as soon as I just open the laptop, analyze the market, see the same patterns or same things that I'm looking for, I can execute, I can respect my risk, and then I know for sure that at the end of the month, maybe I made like 20%, 30%, but these gains that are going to allow me to have a longer term view or picture or achieve those long term goals that I have.
A lot of beginner traders, right?
Yeah.
I think they start with the impression of, deposit $100 and next week they're going to be at Lamborghini or Ferrari, right? They're going to take that $100 to $1 million,
$1 million overnight
in a week, right? But trading is a skill,
right?
Yeah. You acquire it as a skill, and yes, it's. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible to go $100 to really big amounts, right?
Yeah.
But can you do it continuously, right? So there's always the skill element where you're like, can you do this thing day in, day out?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've always said that I think trading, it's a business, and it's like opening a surgery and you are the doctor in that surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a career path. Right?
It is. Yeah.
So what do you think, like beginner traders, what would be the best advice you can give to beginner traders? So someone who's right now, there's not a lot of opportunity jobs.
That's true. That is true.
A lot of people are now looking to financial markets.
Yeah.
Either to make a full-time income or to supplement their current income.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them?
Okay.
Who are just starting out?
Nice. And one thing that I like is that, just by speaking about this whole mission of this current moment that we're in, because a lot of people, even my peers and stuff that I speak to, they'll be telling me on how they were working that other side, or maybe they had jobs going on and that stopped their whole whatever that they've been working on and stuff. And I understand it's tough. It's tough for also other people out there, but once you understand on how the forex market or the financial market works, and you are able to maybe put a lot of time into learning about it, then you can do something for yourself. You can be able to know that every month maybe you're making a consistent income, or it's not even about making consistent income. You can make money to start funding. One thing that I used as forex, even till this day, I use my forex money to be able to fund my other businesses, so I can continue creating businesses or more incomes. And then that way it's nicer for me, because I don't even trade thinking about I need to make this much this month. Even if maybe I took a loss here and there, I won't be under pressure to remake that, which a lot of people do, that revenge trading.
Yeah.
And so the best advice that I think I can give out there to beginner traders is that I think one should trust their process.
Yeah.
As soon as you start, because at times I would backtest pairs. I've backtest 28 pairs in the markets.
Yeah.
I backtested every one of them. I've got statistics to show which one I win much more on, my win rate on this one here. This one here, maybe I win when I buy more or when I sell more.
Yeah.
The correlations and all those things. And then that was allowed to make me filter out which one don't work for me or which ones I don't have. Because at times people think that you need to change your strategy, but you don't need that. You find out that your strategy is the one that's amazing. You just have to tweak maybe some things on your risk management. You have to also tweak on what it is that you need to focus on, Euro USD or GBP USD, or maybe indices NASDAQ, or maybe US state. You understand those things. So backtest, obviously you need to backtest a lot. The pairs that you're going to be focusing on, backtest them, see them, understand how they work. So we are still on trust in the process. So backtest, and then afterwards filter out the pairs that don't work, and then focus on the ones that actually you are gaining 60% above on a win rate. It's perfect, you understand? So you're gaining that, and that even when you are placing trades, you'll be confident. Now it's no longer just about you're cocky taking trades and stuff. You're confident. You know that there's a higher chance of me winning on this specific thing, because I've seen these trades play out multiple times. So just trust your progress and trust your process, and don't the losses that you take are actually lessons that are going to help you in the future. So allow yourself to take more losses, or more losses, and and take them a bit more quicker to speed up the process, because take losses quicker.
So in actual fact, your losses are actually lessons.
They're lessons,
so you'll learn from your losses.
You learn from them. I've learned the biggest lessons from I think there were times where I'd done the same mistake, where I placed trade with very huge lot sizes, and I was I'll look at it in the next 4 minutes, and then when I look at it, it went against me massively. And when I look at it, it's like floating negative 50,000. And
Yeah.
automatically I had that mindset of, I forgot to put my stop loss, or I was like that was a loss, and I took it as a lesson of I need to put my stop loss no matter what.
Yeah.
But even though it costed me like that much, but it was a loss that now in the future it's no longer gonna be that way. You understand?
Yeah,
So I cut. Unlike me, growing, making money, growing. Then now I've got a big account, and then now the same loss is now worth maybe 500,000.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah. I hear you. So how do you trade? So talk to us about your actual trading style.
Okay.
When you wake up in the morning, and you look at the charts, what do you look for? Like,
okay. Yeah, so with me, like, it's been the same thing for like, years. Like I just tweak here and there, but I still look for the same thing. That's one thing that I like, if you try to look for different things, it's gonna be a bit more difficult. But if you focus on one thing and then you focus on it longer, then you'd be able to even spot those things. Like even till this day, I can analyze, I can even execute trades without having to do what I used to do back then, like draw all the necessary lines, use my Fibonacci's and stuff automatically. Like, you can see those things, and just with one candlestick, you're already able to implement like maybe a buy or sell. Okay. So what I do is that, like, when week closes, obviously I look at like, the week close candles on what actually has been going on, like for that week. Did it close impulsively or not impulsively? Then I go down to the daily to see like what phase are we actually in. Are we now correcting, or are we not, or are we actually impulsing? And one thing that I like is that I see that with the 4 hour and the daily too, because I look at the movement of it, like the overall direction. Are we actually going to the upside or to the downside? I see that by doing what? By looking at higher highs, higher lows, or even lower lows and lower highs. So you are able to see that. But if it's not forming lower lows and lower highs, automatically it means that it's a correction. We are now in a ranging market. So it's going to be a bit more different that way. So after I spot that with the daily and the 4 hour, I go a bit more to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, I look for patterns. So one thing that I like is that once I was able to spot, like, let's say I was able to spot that we're in an upward movement on the 4 hour and daily, then on the 1 hour, I'm going to look for continuation patterns instead of reversals. I don't like catching reversal patterns because you can never really know that this is where the market is going to reverse. And with my back testing, like, I didn't find a lot of success with that. I can't get away, like the market turns, and stuff. But one thing that I'm good at is catching on trades that are already moving in that specific direction.
So going with the trend.
Going with the trend, just riding onto it. So like I do that by getting, like, I look for specific patterns in the markets, continuation patterns. There's a lot of those, like, invest head and shoulders. I found those to be very profitable, like on especially years 30. There's also double bottoms. There's like, your pennant patterns and stuff, continuation patterns all in general. And then once I'm able to get that, I actually go down to the 15 minutes. So the 15 minutes would allow me to get, like, let's say, find out that, like, what the pattern at that let's say on the second peak, or the second bottom or something like that. On the 15 minutes, I'll look for what actually is going on. Like, are we rejecting to the downside to continue going to the upside? Or like I'll look at the candle on how the candle closes on where I want to enter via the 1 hour, and then I'll use my entries from the 15 minutes. That guides me also to also place because if I notice that if I put my entries on the 1 hour, on which I do if I want to swing the trade, but normally I'd go on the 15 minutes because it allows me to have a much more smaller stop loss that way. And then, like, when the market does progress in my direction, I manage that whole potential looking at the 1 hour move. Like, I entered on the 15 minutes, stop loss 15 minutes, but like, when it's going more in my direction, I'm looking at the 1 hour. It's guiding me that here is future targets. So I don't look for anything less than 1:3 on the risk reward. So whatever that I put, like, let's say if I've got a position, even if it doesn't mean that like all of the trades hit profit at 3, you understand? So like even if, like, it's on 2 and then I adjust, I log 1% or I lose 0.5%, something like that, then I'm safe, you understand? But I make sure that same setup that I'm seeing has to promise me at least 3% or more. And that way I can take that, like, it's worth me taking it.
So explain to someone who doesn't understand what risk to reward is, because it's such a key thing, right? When it comes to your actual strategy and, projecting how much potentially you can make out of that strategy. So to someone who's never heard of risk to reward.
So risk to reward it's like looking at it is like the amount that you're willing to risk in order to make this specific amount of returns. So like, let's say now if you've got 5,000 in your account, and then like you're willing to risk 1,000, but with that 1,000 you are looking at making at least 3,000 or more. Understand? So your risk is you are risking 1,000, which is 1, and then your potential gains are like 3,000 or more. Meaning that when I say more, you don't have to take profit at the 3,000. You can let it run more into profits. Understand? So you're looking at like your rewards being exponential, and then just making sure that you risk one specific amount of capital or percentage, depends on how you see it. So yeah, that's how risk reward is, like risking this much to gain this much. And one thing that I like is that most people think that the money that you have in your account, like with Forex, they think that it's tough because the money that you have in your account, if a trade goes against you, lose all of it, which is not the way. Like you don't have to blow account on every single wrong trade. You just have to make sure that if you are risking this much, then there'll be a higher chance of you gaining this much. And if you have mixed it with you knowing your win rate, like this is how much, maybe you win 60% or this much, then that can become a very effective tool, and it can become very powerful. Then that you win 70% or 60% of the trades, or even like one thing that I found was with to break even with the risk reward of 1:3, you need to at least win 25% of the trades. Like out of 100 trades, if you win if you win only 25 trades with like risk reward of 1:3, then you are at break even. You understand? So if you win like 50 trades, like 50-50, if 50-50 is your strategy, your win rate, and then your risk reward is still 1:3, already you are profitable. You understand? So you don't have to win all the time. You win only 50% of the time, but because of your risk compared to reward, you're still profitable. So imagine if now your win rate is a bit more higher, like 65 or 70%, and your risk reward is like 1:3. Like you are profitable. Like
So you're talking about a 25% win ratio, right?
Yeah.
But so what would you say to someone who says, "Hold on, Lesiba, but you're talking about 25%. 25% is low, man.
It's low, yeah.
I know other guys who are telling me that they've got a win ratio of 99.9%.
Yeah.
What would you say to that? Because you've seen it, right? Guys and say, we've got a 99.9%.
Yeah, I've seen systems, like, all these things that people are talking about having that. Yeah. But
what do you say to that? Because you're talking about 25%, and stats show that even with a low win ratio, right?
Yeah.
And a good risk to reward.
Yeah.
You can, for me, anything above even 50% is great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
with a good risk to reward. Because you can still be profitable. So I can lose half of my trades and still make money.
That's true. True.
But then people have the impression that I need to win every single trade.
Nah.
So what do you say to that?
Win rates of 99.9%. Like, I've seen those things, and then I was just like, I don't know what to even say about it, because obviously, I doubt that it's possible to have that much, because it means that each and every trade that you're gonna double your account on each and every single trade. You go on, that's even illegal. I think you're gonna make $1 billion every day.
No, definitely. You could, you could max out. You could go full
every day. You just doubling your account. Like I can give you $1 million now, and then in the next 30 days you bring back $1 billion. That's how insane that is. So I know I think that's even impossible. You can't always know the future move with the market. That's why they say that most people, when you explain how the market works to them, they'll be like, oh, it's like gambling. You have to be like, no, it's not like that. But it's taking educated guesses on future movements and stuff. And you can't always be right with the future movements. Even with the smallest things, you can't always be right. When you walk in the mall and those automatic doors open for you, you can't always be like, whenever I walk in here, the door is gonna open. There'll be times about there's a glitch, or maybe the thing is off, and then it doesn't open. You understand how it is. Yeah, you can't always be right with the moves that you're making. So 99.99999 impossible.
So do you use fundamentals in your trading?
Not actually. No, I actually focus more on technicals. Because I think because I tried to read fundamentals, understand how it is, but I'm much more comfortable with seeing it. I'm seeing technicals, understanding that, this is my zone, I'm looking for an area here. So even if fundamentals are coming out and stuff, I've got, the one thing that I like is that I've got a team. I was able to get members that are my students into now becoming a team, trading for the company and stuff. So one thing that I like is that they are full time on the markets, from in the morning till in the evening. As soon as they get to the office, they're looking at the market. So they'll let me know that, there's this thing that's happening at 2:30, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then, but at that time, I don't let the news or the fundamentals affect how I see the markets. If I'm already seeing a buy according to my technicals, and it's at my zones and stuff, when that time does come, I'm looking for a buy. You understand? So I won't look for a different thing because of maybe the outcome of the news. So it's either I'll just have a buy stop, or it's either I'll just wait for that candle close. Then as soon as the news comes, maybe I'll buy or something, but I'll still have the same technicals, my stop loss and everything. So yeah.
Okay. And do you have a favorite indicator which you're using right now?
Not indicator, no.
So do you trade naked charts?
Yeah, naked. Okay. Yeah,
And so what's your opinion? I don't know if you know what a Christmas tree trader is.
Okay, what is
So
it?
Christmas tree trader. So I always share this story. With the first guy who came up, I actually shared the story in regards to when I started trading.
Yeah.
Firstly, I was trading the 1 minute chart.
Okay.
Right, at a very small account.
Yeah.
It's like $200.
Okay.
Trading the 1 minute chart, and I found this amazing indicator.
Yeah.
Called the moving average.
Yeah.
Right, on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah.
I put the moving average there, and what happened? I took the trades. Account blew. I was like, no, it's okay. All I need to do now is I need to just add another indicator.
Another one, yeah.
Then I put I think it was the RSI at that time.
Yo.
And then, you know the story.
Yeah.
And then I ended up putting the MACD, and then after that, so you actually, it got to a point where I couldn't see the price on my chart because I had so many indicators.
Yeah.
I had like 20 indicators there.
Yeah.
I was like, no, but if this one confirms and this one confirms and this one confirms, then I'll take the trade.
Yo.
You know what ended up happening? I took the trade and I still lost money. Right. So what do you say to someone who's got like a lot of indicators on their charts? And some of these things which actually, they tell you conflicting things.
Conflicting, right? Yeah, that's true. Because at the end, I think because at first, like I know the indicators. I know about them. I know them. I've read about them, and I don't treat them because maybe I don't know them. I treat them because I know them. Like I studied them. There was a time in maybe 2018. I took a lot of time, and I feel like maybe I wasted some time because I was learning about how this thing works. Learning about this, I invested a lot of time in knowing indicators that till this day I've never even used. You understand? So. Okay. Yeah, but at the end, one thing that made me just stay focused on naked forex, naked trading the markets is that indicators is something that someone has designed or developed or came up with. You understand? So I'm taking decisions off of someone else's thing, the robot or indicator, same thing that they've built to help me make. Why can't I just use my mindset as my indicator? Yeah. Why can't I just use my eyes as my RSI or my, you understand? So yeah, that's because at the end there's a lot of them. There's a lot of indicators. So you can't test all those indicators. Yeah. It's a lot out there. But the most important thing that indicators are even trying to show you is price. It's candle open, candle close, the highest, the lowest. So why not just you focus on learning that? I know very profitable strategies that people don't even all they do is just draw zones and then they look at candlesticks. What does this candlestick do at this specific zone? Mm-hmm. If it closes below, they are selling. And then they have different types of ranges. If it rejects, they are buying. And then they're very profitable, and without using indicators and all those things, because once you start applying a lot of indicators, it's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit more difficult. And waiting for this indicator to confirm. And this one, what if out of 7 indicators, 6 confirm and one doesn't confirm? Do
you take the trade? Do you not take the trade? 100%. Yeah. And do you use EA's bots, things like that?
No. I don't use those. I've never.
So you're using basically just naked trading, naked charts and technical analysis.
Yeah. Because remember, I've had that thing of long term and stuff. So even with EAs and stuff, I'm I want the skill so bad that I want no matter what happens, I want to rely off of it. So that's why I focus more on me becoming everything when it comes to the market. That's why I focus on me just making sure, even when I take losses, till this day, when I take losses, I get excited because I learn a lot from them, you understand? And I know for sure that I get more confident in the market. So yeah.
I think you're the only person I've learned, the guy I've met who gets excited about taking losses. Because a lot of guys when they take losses, right?
Yeah.
Because of psychology and emotion,
they think,
wow, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
I failed. I don't know what I'm doing, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And losses is part of the game.
It is. Like how you said, trading is a business.
Yeah.
Running costs. When you have a business, you have to pay for Wi-Fi, you have to pay for workers. If you've got a team, you have to pay for, all these equipments and stuff. So it's the same with trading. These losses are those commissions that you pay for brokers, those smaller things that are just pulling just the small, those are just things to help your business continue to run. Yes. And so, you can't run away from those. You just have to learn them and be able to handle them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you in regards to Veracity Markets.
Okay.
Why Veracity Markets as your broker of choice?
Broker of choice. Okay. Yeah. So I like the fact that because I've been trading with different types of brokers, and even here, but I've been focusing more on brokers that are not from South Africa.
Yeah.
Then I started trading with one broker, and it was nice and stuff, but I had some difficulties up until I sat down with one of my friends, and then they told me about Veracity. So they were because at first, like, when you're seeing on social media and all those, like, broker here, this broker, this broker, this
Yeah.
one, it's a lot of them, it's a lot of things. There's like new brokers every day. There's this going on. So it's very difficult to know which one is right, which one isn't right, why you should go for this one and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I've done is that, like, I actually went on the Veracity page, and then I started observing what it is that, like, the broker does offer. And I like the fact that, like, like you did say, with the immediate deposits and
Yeah.
withdrawals, like, even till this day, I know if I need money tomorrow, I can withdraw today, tomorrow. By this time, I would have already have that money in my bank. You understand? So that I liked, and I also like the fact that, like, while me asking questions, because I like understanding what I'm getting myself into, especially if I'm going to invest my money, money that I'm working hard for. So you need to know that your money is going to be in a safe place.
Yeah.
It's going to be secured. You don't want, like, to invest money and then next thing tomorrow morning, it's nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah.
So those things. So I like the fact that, like, Veracity appeared to me to be very safe, and, like, with me just by going through it, I've never had, like, any issues or someone saying negative things, but people that I trusted that have been trading with it have been just saying positive things. And also with the support that I got from it, like, with every simple thing, like, just by me having to do this or needing to move my account from this to this, or me, all those things, like, I got so much support, like, from the team members. And, like, it made me feel like, I'm a part of the broker, understand? Like, it made me feel like I've got, like, a part that I'm playing the brokers. Like, I can just make a phone call and then automatically things
happen.
Yeah, things happen, you understand? Because it's literally like that. Like, even like I'm excited with that, like, the support that I'm getting. And what else? And also the low spreads that I actually do offer. Yeah, like, you understand as traders, like, spreads, those things are, like, most people that are even losing money would be like, it's because of the spreads,
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that, like, it offers, like, super low spreads, like, for me it was like, okay, no, I think I can invest my capital with this one. Yeah, then I'll know that, like, if I'm placing trades, like, even now I don't even see the difference, like, you know, like, there's, I don't know even, like, why people would be complaining about it, because, like, there's those like, with Veracity, ever since I started trading with it, like, I can literally place trades now, and then, like, within the next few seconds, I'm already in profits, you understand? And I can even start locking profits and stuff, you understand? So, yeah, that it does. I don't even see the difference of the commissions or whatever spread that they'll be taking and stuff. So, yeah, like, I'm excited with that. Also with leverage, it's not like, those insane leverages, like, where it can be like 1 is to unlimited.
Yeah.
You blew your account tomorrow, or, like, same one trade, or you blew your account. So this one, it's like, 1 is to 500.
Yeah.
Like, with that one there, I like the fact that, like, I won't just easily blow my account like that, and it's I have a lot of room still to the positive side of it. Like, I can grow my account the way that I want. Obviously, with the experience that I have, then yeah, I'm safe. So I'm excited. I've been trading with Veracity for a while now. So yeah, it's been
You mentioned leverage, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't necessarily understand how leverage works.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've always said that leverage is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
As much as it can help you,
Yeah.
it can also hurt you.
It can. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much you are leveraging your
How
account.
much you're leveraging? Yeah.
Explain to someone who's never heard of leverage.
Okay.
Like, how does leverage work?
Okay, so basically, like, with leverage, it's almost like, the amount that you are with your account size, you understand? So you can make specific movements in the markets. You can make profits from specific, like, let's say 400 pips. But if you didn't have, like, let's say for one standard lot, to be able to execute a trade with one standard lot, you'd need, like, let's say 100,000 units on a standard account. You understand? So basically, with only, like, you having $1,000 or 1,000, you can place worth of 100,000. You can buy things worth of. It's almost like, when you want to buy a house, and instead of buying that house cash, like 3 million cash, putting it up front, you get credit from the bank. You understand? Like, you go out there, then they give you a specific amount. Like, they buy that house cash for you, then you pay that specific installment, whatever that it is, that you pay each and every single month. So you don't buy that house 3 million cash up front. They gave you that leverage to be able to have a house that's worth that much, but you pay only installment up until you finish paying it up. You understand? So leverage is like that. And because of it, we are able to now make profits that you'd need a lot of money to make if it wasn't for leverage. You understand? So yeah, I like the fact that it helps you with that. But at the same time, looking at the negative side, it's also like buying a house that you can't afford now. You understand? If you buy a house that you can't afford, as much as, like, instead of paying 3 million, now you pay maybe 20,000 a month. If you don't have that much, then it means, like, down, you're going to lose that house. So that you're going to lose everything. It's almost like the same with trading. If, like, with that leverage, you start buying or taking positions that are much more bigger than your account or just your money or anything like that, then you're going to lose your account. You're going to lose a lot of money in your account. So it's if you understand it, you can use it to make money. But if you understand it, then you can blow your account easily. So that's how it works. It's just by simplifying it, is like the money that that the broker maybe borrows you to be able to make specific transactions in the markets that are gonna need a lot of money, but because of you having that account, they allow you to make that position, to open those positions. Yeah.
Okay. So you started trading in 2018.
2017. Yeah.
So if you could go back into time to 2017, pre-COVID, pre all this craziness, right?
Yeah.
Go back to 2017.
Yeah.
What advice would you give yourself when you started trading? So the Lesiba now, what advice would you give the Lesiba on 2017? What advice would you give yourself?
What advice would I give to myself? I'd say that it's because one thing that I was able to pick up along the line is that I started believing more in myself. You understand? Because trading is you are your own boss. You are the one that tracks down your progress. So if you believe in yourself, or you believe in the things that you know that you are working towards, or things that, because you get to a point, like let's say now if you've got an account, then you grow it to maybe 10 times, people want to praise you, they will make you feel like you've made a great move and stuff. And if you start taking that in too much, then you're going to start acting that way, and then it's going to take you back, you understand? So if you believe in yourself, it means that you know that what you are working towards, really you are going to get there, and then you focus on the process, those back testing, because I used to I'll fall asleep just looking at the charts, and people would be like, are you always trading?
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, you'd be shocked if I tell you that the last time I placed a trade was maybe a week ago, and I've been looking at the markets every single day because of the fact that I'm studying how the market works. I'm just looking. I want to understand the market to a point whereby, those rejections, I already know what's more likely to happen and stuff. So believe in your learning process. You understand? The fact that someone else was able to do it, and that we've seen anyone, any age, making it in the Forex game.
Yeah.
We've seen all different types of colors. We've seen people that that lived from poor situations to nice situations, or people that have been in beautiful situations that were able to still trade. So it's for everyone. So once you just believe that you are also a part of that whole pie, and it's not just meant for other people, but it's also meant for you, then I think you can get something from it. And I'm speaking to now one that has been able to believe, got to a specific level. Once you get it, it's important of you to be able to learn on how to keep that. Understand? So you are able to now be yourself at that specific point, and then focus on the next picture, or where am I going next? Because if you start getting it, and then you start having it in your head that I'm getting it and stuff, then the markets is a cycle. It's a mental thing. Till this day, it's a mental thing. So it's gonna obviously take you back. So once you get it, make sure that you focus on the long-term picture.
Okay, that's great. So believe in yourself, basically.
Believe in yourself. Automatically believe that you've got it. Automatically believe that you understand the market. Because for us to take losses, for us to, it's words of affirmations are what you end up becoming. You understand? If you say always, whenever I place a trade, it always goes against me. Whenever I buy, it sells. Whenever I sell, it buys. Automatically, that's gonna happen. You understand? You're gonna start doing that because that's what you affirm. That's what for you mentally, that's just how it is. You understand?
Yeah.
But if you start telling yourself, you know what, I'm consistent. Any trade that I take, I'm gonna make sure that I'm respecting my risk, and no matter how beautiful this setup is, I'm gonna make sure that I respect how my lot sizes, my entry game, I'm gonna follow my rules on every single trade, and just by doing that, automatically that's gonna change a lot of things for you. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So right now in South Africa, right, there is a huge problem with youth unemployment.
Yeah.
There's no jobs out there. There's no opportunities out there.
Sure.
And a lot of the youth are now turning to trading.
Yeah.
As a source of income.
Yeah.
Right. What advice would you say to those guys who are like, I don't have any opportunities. I don't have a way to put food on the table.
Okay.
But there's this thing called trading, which I want to try out. Right?
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who comes to you and they're like, where do I go? Teach me.
Yeah.
What do you say to that person?
Yeah. Okay. So in that situation, one thing that I like about this, let's say now we're speaking to someone that is at the lowest, lowest, and they don't know. So what we have now is with also one thing that I like with Veracity here is that just by deposit your account, I think the minimum is $10.
Yeah.
Which it's maybe not even more than 130 or 130, somewhere around those numbers. So with only one foot you can start obviously investing money. But it's not gonna be wise for you to invest if you don't have a skill or what or all those things that are needed. You understand?
Yeah.
So even though you can create a micro account, which is gonna be perfectly fine for you, what we have also on our side is that, like, we focus more on teaching, like, the experience that I have, that I've been able to develop in the markets. What I've done is that I actually broke it down into 4 years ago when I started trading, like, where was I, what I needed, and I saw that, okay, no, at first I was at a very low point. I couldn't buy, like, expensive courses, I couldn't, follow a lot of things. So I actually have, like, what we call an ultimate transformation program, where it's only $7, which is like 100 rands, you understand? So it's like the beginner side of things, like, it teaches you, like, the basics, how to see it. It even teaches you, like, how I was able to develop characteristics with different pairs, which one I knew that I like, which one I knew that I had to filter out, and all those things. So literally with, like, an investment of, like, total $17, you can already start being an investor on yourself, you understand? So that's one thing that I like. So people should check that out. And like, just as soon as you, like, focus more on the learning side of it, focus more on gaining knowledge, and don't just take your last money hoping that it's gonna work out for you. Like with Forex, give yourself, like, room, like 6 months down. Like, even when you start making profits, give yourself room to see yourself, you understand? Don't just make your first 20K and then you start buying shoes and stuff. Give yourself 6 months, focus that time into learning, back testing, just putting emotions, detaching emotions, seeing different things that actually work for you, see what works, focus on what more works, and, like, just diving deeper into it. And then maybe after 6 months, you can start looking back into, like, what you've been able to do, the mistakes, the lessons, and then, like, from there, then you can also say that you're taking it much more fully in. You're going deeply in,
I like that. So what is your favorite pair? Like, when you say, if there was, like, if all the pairs would say disappear and you were left with one pair to trade, just one instrument. What would that?
Not pair necessarily, like, just one instrument.
One instrument.
US30.
Really?
Yeah, I love that. So I actually only trade 2 things now, but US30 is the one that I actually focus on, like, 100% of my time. I make sure that I follow its movement. I swing, I day trade, I do all those things, because, like, as soon as I started learning more about it, like, for me it was a bit more simple to follow. Understand? And I found myself to be even more profitable when I buy compared to when I sell. So whenever I see, like, buy opportunities in US30, I know that I've got a high success rate with that. So I don't mind, like, because, like, at times it's boring, like, to be able to make money from this specific pair, but you are trying to trade other instruments or other pairs, and then they are the ones that are taking money away from you. 100%. Why not take away those and just focus on that? So I look at US30, and then on the currency side of it, I focus more on GBP, JPY. I've loved that one ever since, back then, because of, like, the pip value on it, even, like, it's a great pip value. And, like, it moves nice, it moves, it's easily readable, like, technical side of it. It's very nice, and it's volatile, meaning that you can make the profits that you want just compared to indices. You can make the profits that you are targeting in just a very short amount of time compared to, like, the points that it moves at and stuff. So GBP, JPY, and US30, but mainly I focus on US30.
And I found that with indices, right? Because indices generally year to year are increasing in value.
Right?
So which means that majority of the year they're actually buying.
They're buying, sure.
So it's actually different with currencies. With some currencies, you might find that your sales actually go quicker. But with indices, because generally they're always kind of on an up. Well, not always, but generally they're always on an uptrend. So you win more buys than you lose.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
But obviously you need great entry criteria. It's not just a case of you just choose a spot on the chart and you say I'm gonna buy there.
But funny thing, like, last year when I stole, because January was when I was starting out, like, with indices, like, focusing on them. I just made a lot of money from just buying and buying, like, at support even, like, without doing a lot of things, just by looking for support areas and then buying. And, like, that was, like, for me it was, like, shocking, because, like, I'd make a lot of money, and, like, the money that I've made, like, in just a short period of time, like, it took me a lot of time to make, like, trading currencies and stuff. So, like, that was, like, a big movement. And, like, obviously, more people started to know more about it, like, and then retail traders got into it. So now I'm, mid or even end, like, started moving in its own ways. But you learn how it moves, especially if you've been trading it for long. You learn how to adapt with that specific pair or market. So that's one thing that I like to about it.
Okay. So what's been your, I'm going to get personal now, right?
I'm
going to get real personal.
Okay.
What's been your biggest withdrawal from Veracity Markets?
Biggest withdrawal from Veracity?
And how did you feel when that money, when you heard that ting ting?
I
Yeah, I know you remember the moment that message came in.
yeah.
How did you feel when you got that withdrawal?
No, it was nice. It was nice, like I love money. Like, as much as like, I'd say that you're not doing it for money for peeps and all those things. But when the money lands in your account and like, you get excited, especially knowing that this came from, digitally, like, I was able to just do this and then automatically it comes. I think it was like 107,000, somewhere around those numbers. But even like, but now it came to a point where I'm used, like even this week, I think this week I withdrew 64,000 Monday or Tuesday. I withdrew it from Veracity and then it just landed like the next day and stuff. So yeah, like it's nice, like it gets exciting when you know that.
It's always nice to see that SMS.
Yeah.
But it's even better when you get that email saying approved.
Approved, like that email that says approved. It's coming, like it's coming soon.
You're just waiting for the SMS.
You're just waiting for that, and then boom, it comes in, and like it comes straight as it is. Like, and if I pulled 64, it comes like 64, like 100, it comes exactly like that. So yeah, like that's something that I like. So yeah, it felt nice. It felt nice, and I'm able, with that. Fortunately, I'm able to still push certain things, businesses, I'm still able to grow more businesses. I'm getting into more, just making more income for myself and stuff, So I'm glad that, I actually bumped into Veracity, and with that, like, I'm using them to just be able to get like, more money to finance my dreams and my goals and stuff. Yeah. So
that is right. So Lesiba, unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Yeah.
But this has been a great interview. Very happy to have you on the show.
No,
we're hoping you're gonna come back.
Definitely.
Back when you've got, when you're withdrawing 2 million rand from Veracity Markets.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming.
I
really appreciate you coming on the show. And we're hoping to have you back soon.
I know, definitely. I appreciate you having me here. Just by me being able to say certain things, I'm glad that, like, just me being here now, like, it'll allow someone maybe to start trading, or it'll just give someone hope. Someone that's giving up now, they'll get hope on, okay, let me get in the trading world and stuff. So I'm glad that you guys actually gave me this platform to just speak my voice here.
No, thank you. Okay, guys, that's it from this week's episode of the Veracity Markets Podcast. We'll see you in the next one.